There is something missing every morning. You just don't know what it is. You sit down. The morning is quiet. Your coffee is next to you, still warm. You pick up your phone. You scroll for a little while. You put it down. You look out the window. Something feels unfinished, like a sentence that never got an ending. You stand up. You start your day. That unfinished feeling follows you quiet, but there, all morning. By the time you reach lunch, you cannot even say what felt unfinished. It is gone, lost somewhere between the coffee and the door. There is one small thing that can close that gap. It takes 1 minute, and it starts with a pen. Stay with me. By the end of this, you will know exactly what that small thing is and why it works. Today we are talking about one very small habit, writing one sentence every morning, not a long diary, not a plan for the day, not an essay, just one sentence. Whatever is in your head, that is it. It could be, I feel tired today. It could be, I want to eat noodles for lunch. It could even be, I don't know what to write. All of these are correct. There is no wrong sentence. And here is the question for today. What happens when you write just one sentence every morning? And why does something so small change how the whole day feels? By the end of this episode, you will know the answer. And you will know exactly what to do tomorrow morning. One small thing. Very simple. Let's start. First, let's talk about why most people never write anything in the morning. It is not laziness. It is not a lack of ideas. There are real reasons, and they make a lot of sense. Here is the first reason. They think writing is for other people. When they hear write every morning, they think of writers, poets, people with a lot of ideas and beautiful words, not them. They think, I don't know what to write. I don't have anything interesting to say. So they never start. Because they believe writing is for people who are good at it, and they are not one of those people. Here is the second reason. One sentence feels too small to matter. One sentence sounds tiny, almost nothing. If you want to do something useful, you should do more, right? A whole page, a real plan. One sentence feels too small to be worth the effort. So they skip it because it does not feel like enough. Here is the third reason. They tried a diary before and stopped. Someone told them, write in a diary every day. It is good for you. So they bought a nice notebook. The first day, they wrote a full page. The second day, half a page. The third day, they did not know what to write. The fourth day, they stopped completely. The notebook is still there, mostly empty. They think, I am just not a diary person. But the problem was not them. The problem was that they started too big. A full page every day is a lot to keep up with. Here is the fourth reason. The morning has no room for anything new. There is already so much to do. Wash your face, eat something, drink coffee, get ready to leave. Adding writing on top of that feels like one more job, one more thing pulling at your time and energy. Here is the fifth reason. They do not know what to write about. Even if they wanted to try, they sit there with the pen in their hand and nothing comes. Their head feels empty and full at the same time. Empty of clear ideas, full of small, messy feelings they cannot put into words. so they put the pen down. They think, I guess I just don't have anything to say this morning. But that thought itself, I don't have anything to say, is already a sentence. It is already true. Most people do not see that. They think they need an idea first. They do not. They just need one true sentence, even a very small one. Here is the sixth reason. It feels strange to write to no one. A letter has someone to read it. A work email has someone waiting for it. But a sentence in a private notebook, nobody will read it. Nobody is waiting for it. It can feel a little strange, even a little silly, to spend time on words that go nowhere. But here is a different way to see it. The sentence is not really going nowhere. It is going from your head to the page. That short trip is the whole point. The sentence is not a message to someone else. It is a message from you, to you written down so you do not lose it in the noise of the day. All of these reasons make sense. Nobody is wrong for thinking this way. Today, you are simply going to learn why one sentence, just one, is enough, and why the morning is actually the best time to write it. So, what actually happens when you write one sentence in the morning? Let's keep it simple. In the morning, your head is full. Worries, plans, feelings, pieces of a dream you just had. All of it is there, all at once, with no shape, no order. It is a little like a messy room in the dark. You know things are there, but you cannot see them clearly. Writing one sentence is like turning on a small light in that room. One thought steps out of your head and onto the page. And once it is there, you can actually look at it. It becomes something real, something clear. That word clear is important today. Clear means easy to see, easy to understand. A thought in your head is not clear. The same thought, written down, often is. And here is something interesting. Once one thought becomes clear, the rest of your head often feels a little lighter too, not because the other thoughts are gone, but because one of them finally has a shape, and that gives your mind something solid to stand on. Many people say that after writing one sentence in the morning, their head feels less heavy, less foggy, like something has been put down instead of carried around all day. There is another reason the morning works so well for this. The morning is quiet. The day has not started yet. Your phone has not filled your head with messages and news yet. Your mind is closer to what it actually thinks before the world adds its own noise on top. Think about it this way. Later in the day, your head fills up with other people's words, messages, headlines, things your coworkers said. By the evening, it is hard to even find your own thoughts under all of that. But in the morning, before any of it arrives, your own thoughts are still right there, near the surface. That is the best moment to catch one and write it down. Here is a simple example. There was a person, not a writer, just someone with an ordinary job. Every morning, they woke up feeling like their head was full but unclear. Too many things. No order. They read about this habit somewhere and decided to try it. Just one sentence. Nothing more. The first morning, they sat down and wrote, I don't want to go to work today. That was it. 5 words. Nothing special. But when they looked at that sentence on the page, something happened. They understood something about how they were feeling that they had not said out loud, even to themselves. They still went to work that day. The sentence did not change their plans. But the morning felt a little lighter, a little less foggy. They kept doing it. Some mornings the sentence was simple, like, I feel okay today. Other mornings it said more than they expected. Either way, it took less than a minute, and every time, their head felt a little clearer afterward. Here is a second example. A student, in her last year of school, busy mornings, a lot of pressure about exams, about the future, about what to do next. She started writing one sentence every morning before opening her books. Not about school, just whatever was true that day. One morning she wrote, I am scared about the test on Friday. She had not said this to anyone, not to her friends, not even really to herself, not in clear words. But there it was, on the page, in one short sentence. She did not solve the problem that morning. The test was still on Friday, but naming the feeling, putting it into one sentence, made it smaller somehow, easier to carry through the day. Two very different people, a worker and a student, different lives, different mornings, but the same small result. One sentence, and the day felt a little more manageable. Many people find this. Not a big change, not a miracle, just a little more clear, a little lighter, every single morning. Here is one more way to understand why this works. You might think, I can just think about my feelings. I do not need to write them down. But thinking and writing are not the same thing. A thought can move. It can change shape in 2 seconds. You start thinking about one thing, and before you know it, you are thinking about 5 other things, and the first one is gone. A written sentence does not move. It stays exactly as you wrote it. You can look at it again. You can read it twice. It waits for you, calm and still, on the page. That stillness is what makes writing different from just thinking. Your head is fast and busy, like a river. The page is slow and quiet, like a cup of water. When you write one sentence, you take a small amount of that fast river and pour it into something still, something you can actually hold and look at. Here is a third example, very short. A man who worked night shifts started writing one sentence in the quiet hour after he got home, before sleeping during the day. His mornings were other people's afternoons, but the idea was the same. One sentence, at the start of his day, whenever that day began for him. Some mornings his sentence was about being tired. Some mornings it was about missing his family while they were out and he was sleeping. He never planned what to write. He just wrote whatever was true in that moment. After a few weeks, he noticed something simple. His head felt less crowded when he finally went to sleep, like one thought had already been put away. Instead of spinning all day long, 3 different people, a worker, a student, a night shift worker, 3 different mornings, 3 different lives, but the same small result, again and again. One true sentence, and the day, whatever time it begins, feels a little easier to hold. So now you know why one sentence works. But here is where many people get it wrong. They hear, write every morning, and think big, a full page, deep thoughts, something meaningful. That is exactly the trap that makes people quit after a few days. One sentence is not a small version of a big habit. One sentence is the whole habit. That is the point. It does not need to be good. It does not need correct grammar. It does not need a deep meaning. It only needs to be true. True to whatever is actually in your head at that moment. You can write in your own language. You can write in English if you want extra practice. Both work. Here is how to make it easy. Attach it to something you already do. Right after you sit down with your coffee in the morning, before you pick up your phone open to a new page, pick up a pen. Write one sentence. You do not need a beautiful notebook. Any paper works. The back of an old receipt works. The corner of a calendar page works. Now, maybe you are thinking, but what if I sit down and nothing comes? What if my head feels empty? That is very normal. And here is the trick for those mornings. If you do not know what to write, write exactly that. Write, I don't know what to write this morning. That counts. That is a real sentence. And it is true. Some mornings, just writing that one honest line is enough to open the door. Once you write, I don't know what to write, something else often follows right behind it. A small worry, a small hope, a random thought about lunch. You do not need to force it. You just need to start with whatever is true, even if true is simply, I have nothing. When you do this every morning, even just one sentence, it becomes a small moment that belongs only to you. Before the day starts, before your phone, before anyone else's words fill your head. That moment, quiet, small, just for you, is how the day really starts. And if you are still not sure what kind of sentence to write, here are a few simple doors you can walk through. You can write about how your body feels right now. You can write about one thing you are looking forward to today, even something small, like lunch. You can write about one thing that is bothering you, even if it is tiny. You can write about the weather, or the sound outside your window, or a dream you almost remember. None of these are rules. They are just doors. On most mornings, you will not need them. A sentence will simply arrive because your head is already full of something. The doors are only there for the mornings when your head feels especially quiet and nothing seems to come on its own. There is one more thing worth saying. Some people worry that their sentence should sound deep or wise or interesting to read later. It does not need to be any of those things. A flat, simple sentence is just as good as a beautiful one. I am tired does the same job as a longer, more poetic sentence about tiredness. The goal is not a nice sentence. The goal is one true sentence. That is all this habit asks of you. So here is what you can do. Tonight, put a pen and a piece of paper or a small notebook somewhere you will see it tomorrow morning. On your desk, on the kitchen table, anywhere your eyes will land. And tomorrow morning, after you sit down with your coffee, before you pick up your phone, pick up the pen, write one sentence, anything. Whatever is in your head right now, one sentence. Then, put the pen down. You do not need to think hard. You do not need to make it perfect. Just write what is true for you, right now, in that moment. If nothing comes, Write that nothing is coming. Even that is enough. So remember, tonight, put a pen somewhere you can see it. Tomorrow morning, one sentence. Before your phone. That is the one thing. Can you do that? I think you can. It takes less than a minute. It costs nothing. And tomorrow morning, your head might feel a little clearer than it did today. We are almost at the end of today's episode. But before we finish, let me paint one small picture for you. Tomorrow morning, you sit down. The morning is quiet. Your coffee is next to you. But this time there is a pen on the table and a piece of paper. You pick up the pen, you think for 1 second, and you write one sentence. Maybe it is, I feel okay today. Maybe it is, I am still a little sleepy. Maybe it is something you did not even know you were thinking until you wrote it down. You put the pen down, you pick up your coffee, and something feels different. The day has a beginning now, a real one. Not the phone, not the news, just you and one sentence, and the quiet morning. Let's remember what we talked about today. Every morning, your head is full of thoughts that have no shape yet. Writing one sentence gives one of those thoughts a shape, and your head often feels a little clearer after. You do not need to be a good writer. You do not need a beautiful notebook. You just need one sentence, whatever is true for you, right now. That one sentence is how the day really begins. Before the phone, before anything else. Tonight, put a pen somewhere you can see it. Tomorrow morning, one sentence. Before your phone. Now, let's go over our words for today. Write. Every morning, write one sentence. Just one. That is enough. Thought. A thought in your head is not clear yet. Writing it down makes it real. Clear. After you write, your head feels more clear. Easier to begin the day. Morning. The morning is quiet. That quiet is the best time to write. Page. Open to a new page. Pick up your pen. Write one sentence. Start. That one sentence is how you start the day, before anything else. If this was helpful, listen again or share it with a friend who wants to learn English and feel better in the morning. See you next time.